Hi guys, so I'm back with another video for you like I promised. You guys came up with some pretty awesome questions and I hope I can answer most of them. Some I had to look up the answers to. There are a few I didn't get to answer, but maybe we'll find those answers out together. Let's see. Let's start with the question from Wesley. And he's asking how many are there. So we hatched 6 at school, and then I bought 6 more at Tractor Supply, which is a store. One was pretty sick, so we only have 5 of those left. So 6 plus 5, we've got 11 chicks here. You guys notice I cleaned it today. It does not smell as bad now. Devin and Erica and Coney would like to know how old they are. The 6 that we hatched at school are about 13 or 14 days old, so about 2 weeks old. And the ones that I bought from the store are probably a week, maybe 2 weeks older. So these with the feathers are probably a week or 2 older than the ones that we hatched at school, these guys. And that includes the little tiny one, Chickaletta back there. They do not like piles, and I just put all these pine shavings in here, so they're trying to smooth things out. Jonathan, Jocelyn, and Erica asked, how can I tell them apart? Well, I'm trying, but I really can't. As they get older, they start to look a little more different. If you look at the big ones, this one right here is more brown than the others. So I can tell that one apart from the other 3, but they all kind of look a lot alike. One of the chicks that we hatched is more yellow than the others. I can't find it right now. And it's also got a really long neck, I just noticed when I was cleaning. I think that was the same one that I called Yellow Fluffy Dude yesterday. And then of course our little one, our bantam chick right here, this gray one, Chickaletta, it's the only teeny one, so it makes it really easy to tell them apart. So hopefully as they get older, you guys will be able to help me tell them apart, and we'll be able to figure out which one is which. That's a Yellow Fluffy Dude right there, coming out from the heater. Mostly yellow. William, Luke, Isabella, and Jaden want to know, are they hens or roosters? I do not know yet. These big ones that I bought are supposed to be hens. The store does some really scientific searching at the farm to get only hens. The 6 that we hatched, I have no idea. And I don't know what Chickaletta, the small bantam one, is either. So we're waiting to see what the difference between them are. They say the crop on the top of the head will start getting a lot longer, or I'm sorry, the comb, that ridge right on top of the beak, will start getting longer if it's a rooster. And then under its beak, it will start to get wattles. They look like pockets. And then we know definitely it's a rooster. If they all stay looking the same, then we have to just wait till they start trying to crow, kind of like peepers in the book. Angel in homeroom 26 wants to know, why do they peck their feathers? If you notice, they'll tuck their beaks back and peck their feathers, or peck the other's feathers. That's called preening. They're cleaning their feathers or fluffing them up a little bit. I don't know. It's just something that chicks and chickens do. Ziani and Adam asks, how many hours do they sleep? I had to look this one up. They seem to sleep all night. I will come downstairs usually around 9, and I turn off this lamp right above them, and I just leave on my basement lights, so that way they can find their way back to the heater, and they will go under the heater for what I call bedtime, and they stay under there until it's daylight. So until I turn a basement light on again, because they can't see the sun outside, they'll stay under that heater and pretty much look like they're sleeping. But I found out that chickens don't always sleep like we do, where we're like really heavy asleep for a while. They'll sometimes only sleep for 15 seconds. And other times when they're sleeping, they might sleep with one of their eyes open. And that's to be on the lookout for predators. They have 2 sides of their brains, and one side can go to sleep while the other stays awake to look for predators. So that's pretty cool. They said that when they get older, when they don't need that heater anymore, they'll sleep on the roost bar. And the ones that are in the middle of the roost bar will close both eyes to sleep. And the ones that are on either end will keep one eye open to help kind of protect the flock. So that was pretty neat. Kim asked, why do they move their heads when they walk? And that's kind of, I'm thinking the question Kayla in Homeroom 26 and Ashley may have been asking, like how do they stretch their necks out? Why do they stretch their necks out? When they're just standing and they stretch, they're kind of just stretching like you would. But when they're walking, their heads move because some birds do this. And scientists think it's so that they can focus on objects better because their eyes are on the side of their heads instead of being 2 eyes in the front like your eye. I had to look that answer up because I did not know it. Come on. Come on out. Say hello. Come on. Our next question. Riley asked, how high can they jump? They don't jump too high using just their feet. Most of the time, they use their wings. Sorry, I keep not showing the chicks. They'll use their wings and they'll fly. Smaller chickens, like our bantam, our little tiny one, will be able to fly higher than the bigger chickens because they weigh less. And Senora Colon actually tells me a story about how she's seen chickens will fly up into the trees to sleep at night, and they fly up to keep away from predators. So chickens can fly pretty high. They'll fly in here on top of the heater. They'll fly onto the roost. I've seen them get on this feeder. So at night, or when I'm not down here, this gets covered. You'll see over there, it's kind of hanging over the side. There's a net that goes over the side to kind of keep them in the tent so they don't get out when I'm not here. Eli and Anthony asked, do they like me or do they know me? The chicks we hatched at school seem to know me. I think it's because they were in the classroom for a couple days and heard me talking all day long. And even the bigger ones are becoming more familiar with me the more time I come downstairs and spend with them. They don't like to be picked up. None of them like to be picked up, but that's just because chickens aren't supposed to really be picked up and held. They should be able to know that I will come and feed them and I'll give them water and trust me rather than like to hang out with me. Casper asked, how do you clean their playpen? If you notice, I just cleaned it. It looks a lot nicer than yesterday. Underneath the wood chips, I have puppy, they're called wee-wee pads. When you're trying to train your dog to not go to the bathroom all over the house, you put these down. So I put them on the bottom of this to protect it. And then when it's time to change it, I just roll it up. And I roll it all the way to one end, and I push all the chicks onto this end, and I put a new pad down, and I change them all out. Maybe one day I'll film that if I have somebody who can help me with the video camera. It takes about 3 minutes. It's super quick. Envy wants to know, why do they poop so much? Since they grow so fast, imagine our chicks 2 weeks ago were teeny tiny little chicks coming out of eggs. Since they grow so fast, they have to eat so much food. So more food, that means they have to poop more. If they ate less food, they wouldn't poop as much. But we want them to keep growing, so we'll let them keep eating. Vince wants to know, how much do they need to eat every day? And Anthony asked that too. I don't know how much they eat every day. I fill this up. This is a bird feeder. This is a bird feeder. I could open it. There we go. And inside, I just pour in a bunch of food. And I usually have to fill it up every 2 days. And this feeder helps keep the food inside of it. And they can't just pull it out and make a mess with their food, because that's what chickens like to do. They just like to dump everything out all over the place, their water, their food. So with this feeder, they can only get to these spots right in there. And that's it. They can just pick out the food that they're going to be able to eat, not extra food. The water, Yoselin asked, how often do I change their water? I filled up this water bottle yesterday morning. So every 2 days, I'll just fill up the water bottle. I don't have to change the water bottle and give them fresh water because this top helps it stay clean inside. So I just fill it up every 2 days. If I see it's getting really low, I'll just fill it up. Ariz wanted to know, why do they make so much noise? They're actually pretty quiet. They make little cheeping noises, but they're not really that loud. When they get loud, that means there's a problem. So, a lot of times my Dylan will come down to the basement to get his hockey stuff, and he's bouncing around and he's so loud, and they get really loud because they're scared. All the loud noises kind of scare them and they get nervous. So then they'll get really loud. When they become full chickens, and let's say they're all hens, the only time they're really loud is, 1, if there's a danger like a predator, or 2, if they're laying an egg. There's a special sound they make when they're laying an egg. That's yellow fluffy dude right there. So right now, the little tiny cheeps they're making, that just means they're happy. Jonathan asked, do they sometimes wake up in the middle of the night? I'm sure they'll wake up and open their eyes, but see how there's some chicks just laying underneath the heater? They just stay there until it's light. They don't come out. if they come out, they're not really good nighttime seers, so they'll kind of get lost and not be able to find their way back to the heater. So they just hang out there till I open the lights again. Gabby in homeroom 26 wanted to know if I give them a shower or a bath. I do not. Chicks do not like to get wet at all. They don't like rain. They don't like snow. They do not like to get wet. Maybe next week, I'm going to add a box in here, like a shirt box top or a shoe box top with some special sand in it. And that gives them a dust bath. And that's how chickens or chicks take a bath. They roll around in dust, and it helps get rid of any bugs. Like there's teeny tiny bugs that are really hard to see called mites, or even lice, like the lice kids get in their hair. Sometimes chicks might get those. So when they roll around in the dirt, it actually helps clean them. If I ever tried to roll in dirt to get clean, my mom would have gotten so mad at me. But for chicks, that's how they keep clean. Jeanette wants to know, why was one of the chicks in the video last night standing on top of that heater? They stand on the heater, just like they stand on the roost bar. Chicks and chickens like to be up high. They like to perch on things, kind of like if you think of birds and trees on branches. It's the same thing. They just like to be up high and standing on the branches. And like I said earlier, they'll eventually just sleep on that roost bar. We'll have to make another one because that is not big enough for all of them. Alex wanted to know, why did you think about purchasing 7 chicks anyways? We bought 6, and we only bought them because I went to the store and I saw 2 teeny tiny bantam chicks. That's one of our bantam chicks, Chickaletta. And they were in this huge silver box. I'm making a mess. They were in this huge silver box all by themselves, and I felt so bad for them. And so I said, I need to take those home. And the guy at the store said, nope, you can't just have 2. You have to take 6. So I got the 2 little ones and then the 4 bigger ones that we have in here. So I just felt bad leaving the 2 little ones all by themselves in this huge metal container. And Alex and Emma asked, why do they change color as they grow? And Emma wanted to know why some have brown spots on their heads like Miss Brownie does. And it has to do with the kind of chickens they came from. So the hen and the rooster. What is this guy doing? So their color depends on their rooster. Most of the chicks that we've had, whoa, you've got escapees. I have to put the lid back on. Come on, there you go. Most of our chicks started out as yellow. If they were certain kinds of chickens like leghorns, that's the name of a kind of chicken, the feathers that come in would be turning white. They would end up being white chickens. The chickens that we hatched at school came from brown chickens though, so that's why their feathers are turning brown. So it depends on what their parents look like. I'm hoping that our tiny one, who I think is hiding again under the heater, it's kind of gray. So I'm hoping that'll stay gray or even maybe turn black. That would be cool to have a black chicken. So I think those are the questions I'm going to answer today. There are a few more questions that I don't have the answers to, so I have to look them up. But you guys did a really great job thinking of questions for me to answer. And this is probably our longest video yet. That was pretty cool. But keep thinking up more questions and I'll do more videos. And that way you guys can see how they change, and hopefully when they start to change, you guys will be able to help me figure out if they're hens or roosters. All right. Say goodnight, chickies. It's time for bed.